Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of What the X. This is WTX episode 46. 4 until we get to 50. That's going to be quite a celebration. I'm sure you'll be on it. My co-host, Brendan, I'm sure you guys are familiar with him now. He's been on quite a few times. Reoccurring guest. He is the co-host now. That's what I'm calling him. It's official. Brendan?
Howdy.
We got a good one today.
We do.
We got a good one, guys.
Mm-hmm.
This one's all about alpha energy. So, I got a jiu-jitsu rash guard on. I got my freaking I Love Hot Moms tank top.
Oh, yeah.
We're flexing. We're men today. This is a man pod today.
It is.
Okay? So we're going to get this started with who better to start this man pod of alpha energy than the alpha lord himself, Andrew Tate at Cobra Tate. My 4-year-old is learning how to use AI and Chat GPT in school. Shout out Chatty. There is zero LGBT programming or liberalism of any kind. Why? Because she goes to school in Dubai. Rhymes almost. Why? Dubai? Don't even try? Alpha energy from this guy?
Doesn't want it in his...
What do you think of that? What do you think of the education in Dubai compared to, what you've heard in the States?
Well, as someone who went to a conservative art school and for middle school, yeah.
What was the conservative art school?
Well, okay, so it was
Is this in Arizona too?
Yeah, this is an Arizona school. And it was mainly centered around I think ballet, art, music, stuff like that, right? There was one gym class and that was it.
We're starting with alpha energy and you start with ballet, which actually you have a little experience in ballet, right?
A little bit.
It's kind of badass in a way. You thought I would dog you on it.
I'm very grateful.
But I think it's a masculine thing to be able to do something a lot of men probably wouldn't just volunteer go out for.
A little backstory for that. My mom was a professional ballerina, so all my sisters did ballet. I had to do it a little bit, and I was like, okay. But yeah, I remember going to that school and wanting to do sports, and they only had one gym class. And then I had to do music and art for everything else because I wasn't going to take ballet again.
That's interesting. So they had a lot of arts classes and humanities and stuff, but then with gym it was just the one class.
Yeah, it was just the one class. It was kind of odd. And then you go to public school and it's more centered around, I think, sports.
How would you compare the two? Did you like public school more than the that private middle school? Or?
Yeah, 100%. Because the middle school, I mean, it was so centered around that it was there wasn't options. You know what I mean? It was either, at least for me, it was either music or art, so I had to do both of those things. Learn how to do piano, drums, guitar.
Dude, that sounds lit.
But you don't use it, you lose it. I don't know how to play anymore.
Do you know any ballerina moves still?
Gosh, I only know some of the phrases, but I don't remember fully. Only because I hear them all the time.
Would you ever let your say you had a son? Would you let your son do ballet?
If he wanted to.
Would you encourage ballet if he didn't have anything? He was like, I don't know what I want to do, Dad. Would you encourage ballet?
I mean, I would explore probably other options first, but there are a lot of girls in ballet, so that's a huge plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That's fire, though. I think it's an interesting tidbit about you, is the ballet experience. Did you ever watch that movie with The Rock? And he's a ballerina, the Tooth Fairy, I think it was called.
Oh, I do remember that movie. Yeah. Wasn't he? He was a football player.
Yeah?
Yeah. I do remember that movie.
He rediscovered his masculinity through ballerina stuff.
Because wasn't his kid doing ballet or something?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I'd have to watch it again, guys. Correct us if we're wrong about that Tooth Fairy movie with The Rock. But let's just move forward. I wanted to just get that out there, talk about masculinity in the educational system. He's talking about Dubai being better than the States. Let me know what you guys think. If you have your kids in school, is there any complaints that you have? Do you homeschool because of that situation? Let me know. Yeah. But let's move forward. This is Young Keens. Young Keens is going to give the next bit of tweets for us for this show today. And Young Keens at Young Keens Grow. They had this to say, this page. Young Keens, mental fragility is promoted at every opportunity, and people wonder why suicide, depression increase. Because it's taboo to tell people to think stronger, be stronger, act stronger. We're told to cave instantly to all of our emotions all the time. It's dangerous.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I had a couple things running. So I feel like mental health is a huge thing too. But on top of that, I feel like you can't let mental things completely control your life. And I think that's kind of what I think we see a lot of.
And you're totally right, because I don't think either of us wants to not take it seriously, the
Right.
mental illness and everything going on, and happiness and depression. But it seems like the numbers keep growing, and I feel like a big part of it is because of how kids are being raised these days with the over acceptance of it almost. Like it seems like something that we should almost vilify.
Right. Like the whole gentle parenting and everything like that. I don't know. I don't understand that. Like maybe certain situations, more sensitive topics, but God, I'd spank my kid. Like
Ooh, see, I talked to my girl about this because we have conversations about starting a family and everything. And because I was the same way, talking about like, hey, if a kid needs a spanking, the kid needs a spanking.
Yeah.
She's in a different camp. She thinks differently. But we are always conversing about this. I'm sure she'll watch this and be like, oh my God, shaking her head. Keep the business out of there.
Right.
But man, yeah, I would enroll my kid in like jujitsu, dude.
Right.
Just get them into a community of strong-minded individuals.
I think discipline is a huge thing that needs to be more brought up in our youth and everything like that. I feel like, I don't know, I see a lot. I don't know, when I was a kid growing up, it was always, if I were to do something like football, baseball, I'd finish the season. I wasn't allowed to quit. I remember doing football, right? I'm a small guy, I'll admit it. I remember doing football as a kid. Very small child. I got rocked. Every single game, every single practice, I got laid on my ass.
How old were you again at this time?
I think like 8.
8 years old playing Little League football.
I remember one time I got picked up from my teammate. We were running drills, and he literally picked me up and dragged me all the way to the fence line and then dropped me.
What?
My coach made him run for a minute, so I mean, he got back, but dude, that was humiliating,
Yeah, I mean, those are things that are gonna happen. It's important to rise above the occasion.
Right, yeah.
Dust yourself off and get back to it. Because, man, talking about humiliation, and thankfully, it's like I feel like I've gotten over it big time. But I get my ass kicked like probably 7 times out of 10 in jits. Man.
Right.
Just getting dominated out there. My whole body's killing me at the end. Just got my ass beat for like 3 different rounds. But you get up, you dust yourself off, like I said, and you're right back at it. Because you're never like, oh man, I regret doing that. It's always like you can get up.
I think it's like a learning thing almost. You get kicked down, but you get back up and you keep doing it. Right?
Resilience.
Exactly.
The mental fragility, that has to go. No more fragile kids. No more of this Gen Beta simp bullshit. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of hearing about it. Oh, it's my anxiety. Oh, it's my anxiety. You're a pussy. That's what I want to say sometimes.
I get you.
Buckle up, kiddo. It's a bumpy ride. That's life.
Life's hard.
But
it'd be hard.
We don't want to be dismissive of real things that are affecting people and such. But a lot of people have, like we talked about this a little bit ago. It's like, it pissed me off when, and I know Jay-Z's been like exonerated from everything on the allegations. He was kind of falling under the same thing after P. Diddy got in trouble.
Right.
Jay-Z was in a lot of trouble and a lot of heat. And, he was making excuses for like why he was selling crack on the corner. He was like, it was either jail or coke selling crack. And it's like, dude, no. A bunch of people in your neighborhood, not a bunch, I mean, I'm sure it's hard to get out of that area. Right. I'm not saying it's not. But there's people in the same circumstances as Jay-Z who didn't have to resort to crime to be able to get out.
Right.
Again, I'm not saying it's just easy peasy, just anyone can do it. But anyone can apply themselves.
Right.
I hate the excuse of like I had to do crime or it won't work.
Right. There's always a choice, and if you, I think that shows your personality in a sense a little bit too, depending on what choice you're in. That makes what kind of person you're gonna become. So
in a way, to me, bro, and I don't know how you guys feel about this watching, but I think Jay-Z's a pussy.
Really?
Yeah, I think Jay-Z's a bitch, and if I could see him, I'd be like, you could have done something else. You could have been a rapper first. You didn't have to do the crime stuff. Maybe though, the street cred and everything.
I don't know.
But I mean, Jack Harlow doesn't have a rap sheet, and he's white.
Yeah.
So Jay-Z, what's your excuse for being a piece of shit?
Where'd Jack Harlow come up though?
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Yeah, whitest place I can think of. Kentucky. Jack Harlow's from Kentucky.
I feel like there's other circumstances that go into that too, compared to like where Jay-Z grew up and then where Jack Harlow grew up. Kentucky.
Yeah. Yo, Kentucky, man, the subway there is crazy.
Oh man.
He's from Louisville. Louisville goes hard.
Yeah?
I think he's from Louisville.
I don't know.
But just enough of that fragile BS.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna move forward with the next tweet because we got a couple from the Young Kings.
Right.
Not us Young Kings, but the Young Kings from
Mm-hmm.
X here. This is the next tweet from Young Kings, and they like to start it off the same way, addressing the reader as a Young King, which I like.
Yeah.
Young Kings. I'm addressing you, the audience, right now. Young Kings. A lack of money teaches you the importance of money. A lack of strength teaches you the importance of strength. You're never going to be truly thankful for something unless there was a time you needed it and didn't have it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's your thoughts on this one?
I think that's huge because I've definitely learned my biggest lessons in money when I was at my lowest with my money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, didn't know shit about loans. Ended up getting into a shitty loan. Now I work at a bank and I know everything. I know a lot of stuff about loans. You know what I mean? But I mean, even with like other things, you know, like right now the circumstance I'm in right now,
Mm-hmm.
you know, trying to move out in a crazy housing market and trying to work out things like that on my own now. You know, I'm kind of at my dip point, but
Yeah. Again, I have nothing respect for you, brother, because I know it's a lot having to find a place to live, dude.
Right.
When you got the circumstances that you're in,
Mhm.
no one's holding your hand through it or anything
Right.
like that. You know, I've been blessed to have like amazing parents, bro. I love my parents, super supportive. They didn't have like a timeline for me to be out of the house.
Right.
You know, they didn't pressure me like that.
Mhm.
My dad was always about saving money and everything. You know, why pay rent if you can stay here and then eventually get your own house?
Mhm.
So I definitely feel for everyone in a situation where it's like push comes to shove and you got to do something.
Right. And that's where I'm at right now. But I mean, after this, I kind of just expect myself to learn more and grow more. I mean, it's just a learning opportunity and a new chapter in my life that I get to experience. So I'm not too hurt about it.
Dude, and a guy as bright as you, dude, you'll figure something out. You'll land on your feet like you always do. And I think a big part of that is because of the adversity you've had to deal with, bro. So again, just shout out to my boy Brendan, the co-host here. He ain't none of these beta bitches that we be talking about here. Again, going back to like the parents, the schooling, overprotective of their kids and everything. And it's like when you're overprotected and you're not dealing with adversity, it's not gonna prepare you for the things that happen in life.
Like after high school, nothing was sugar coated. I mean, even in high school, things weren't really sugar coated, but especially after high school, it was just cutthroat. I feel like from the beginning, at least for me, and I feel like we're almost doing a disservice by teaching this gentle way to do things and this this beta way to do things.
Dude, 100%.
And then you come out into the real world and it's just like, oh shit, what do I do?
I couldn't agree more with what you said there, bro. It's like we just got to get stronger people. And then the next one here from Young Kings, this one is interesting because I do like this aspect. I don't think it gets talked about as much as the other things that we talk about when it comes to like alpha mentality and shit. But the Young Kings had this to say. They didn't start with Young Kings this time.
Oh, wow.
I would die before I would betray my father. I would die before I would betray my brother. So if those are the options you present, I may as well take you with me. And to me, dude, that's hit strong because I've always had I haven't had tons and tons of friends, and I'm just every day I'm spending time with someone new. It's like a close circle. You know, it's like the people I trust and depend on. They're the only ones whose opinions matter to me. And I would do anything for the people that are close to me. And if you don't have a sense of loyalty, then you're get the fuck out of my space. Don't associate with me. I don't associate with people that have no loyalty to another to their people that are there for them.
Oh, 100%. I remember I had this one friend. It was high school, right out of high school, and it was dude, this was one of my best friends for those 2 years, right? And I remember at the tail end of when we were hanging out and everything, he straight up told me, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a fake person. I'm fake with everybody." And I was like, "You're fake with me?" And he just didn't say anything. And then after that, it was done.
Really?
Right, because it's why would I have you in my circle? You know what I mean? If you're gonna be fake and not tell me, if I'm fucking up, I want to know.
When was this that this happened?
I was probably like 18, 19.
Dude, that's like really similar to me, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend just like that, dude. 18, like coming out of high school, we were going our separate ways at school.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I can't wait. You got to show up to Mizzou sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, my roommate Brock, and then my friend Dylan, who's got a family of his own, doing well in Missouri. Happy for you, brother. He probably don't watch this.
Hey, shout out Dylan, anyways.
Yeah, but both of those guys, they came to college to visit me,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was my my boy. I considered him a best friend, a brother at the time too, and it hurt,
Right.
dude, because they were like, dude, he was talking all smack on you. He
Mm-hmm.
said he's like doesn't want to talk to you or hang out with you, and was asking why we were coming over and shit.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, fuck Scott.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah,
that
I
guy.
said his name anyways.
Fuck
Scott's
you,
a
Scott.
bitch, dude. Bitch ass Scott. I
You're
hope
a-
he watches this so he knows
Yeah.
he's a little bitch.
You're a beta.
Yeah, I might post this on my Facebook story, pussy. But I just don't respect people like that.
I get you.
And it's like, the dude should have said that to my face,
Mhm.
man. Especially if we were like, and he was like, oh, dude, you guys were, and this comes to that softness shit. I think he was Gen Beta before it was even a thing.
Right.
This fucking pussy. But he was like, dude, he's like, you just would joke too much, and like your jokes hurt my feelings. It's like, dude, we teased each other all the time.
Yeah.
Like, it's like how we talk to each other, bro.
Right.
It's like brothers talk like that.
Yeah.
And if you're laughing, how am I supposed to know your feelings are hurt?
Right. Yeah. Like I feel like it's that thing I tell you. It's like if I ever go too far, just say something.
Mhm.
You know, there's no bad blood. You know, if I say something fucked up, then I should know. You know what I mean? 100%.
So, Scott, if you are watching this, I don't hold any grudges. I still think you're a bitch, but I hope nothing but the best for you. Just because I think you're a bitch doesn't mean I don't want you to
Right.
eat. Doesn't mean I don't want you to succeed. Just succeed far away from me.
Yeah.
Do
it on your own. I don't want to hear about it.
But you know, that's why we doing this. That's why I really have this whole podcast, guys, is just to put people on blast from the past.
Oh wow.
Happened so fast. But we're gonna move on. Who's your friend's name? You want to shout him out? You want to shout that pussy out?
No, I'll leave it be. I'll leave it be. I think Scott got enough heat.
Yeah. And I'd say the last name to be respectful. And I was like, do I say it? I'm not. I ain't gonna do that. The next tweet, guys, again from Young Kings. This time, again, Young Kings. Most people view life wrong. When in a bad chess position, you can sit and wish the rules of chess would change. Rules which have been the same for 5,000 years. Or you can accept the parameters and make the best possible move on the board, even if defeat is certain.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I'm a huge
Right.
chess person, guys. I haven't played too much chess because I'm too good in the house. No one wants to play me.
Mm-hmm.
But even when I'm losing, it's like you don't give up. You know, you try to find the next best move.
Right.
Even in defeat. It's like, that's such a metaphor for life, in my
Mhm.
opinion, bro. It's like, if the dice aren't rolling in your direction, if things aren't going how you want them to go, you don't just crumble and
Mhm.
fall apart. You know, you step up to the plate and you do as much as you can
Mhm.
to limit the loss that you might have to take.
Yeah, definitely.
But just because you're taking a loss doesn't mean you don't get back out there, dust yourself off, and then play it. It's like you might lose the first game of chess, but step up and play another game.
Right. It's like you're not. It's kind of feel like it's almost too like that thing where Rome wasn't built in a day. You know,
Mhm.
you have to practice and learn that resilience to get good at something too. So it's like I feel like that's a lesson and also like commitment to things. You know, and honestly, I feel like that's something I can learn too. I mean, I've been wanting to learn another language for a while now.
It's funny,
And I
dude.
just don't
At the
commit to it.
branch, bro, people be talking a little bit of Spanish. I know a
Yeah.
little bit, so it's like I can hear what they're saying.
Oh, dude, I found out shit talking me in Spanish to customers.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, what the hell, man?
It's pretty funny.
I gotta go learn Spanish now.
But you're right, resilience and
Mhm.
just building your skills, consistency. These are all, I think, things
And
that
I
are
feel
kind
like
of
that
reoccurring.
even helps too, because I mean, if you build yourself up and you build these skills, you're gonna have more opportunities as well. So,
Mhm.
if life doesn't go in the direction that you want it to go in, you can take another direction. You know, turn left instead of right.
Definitely. It's just like chaining submissions. Just because you can't get the triangle choke,
Mhm.
switch over to the armbar. If the armbar doesn't work, loop around the leg, try to omoplata maybe. There's ways. Try to get a sweep, get out of it. Adjustments. I
Mhm.
like that, bro. Adjustments are always a really important thing.
Mhm.
Don't crumble and just accept defeat flat out. There's always a way you might be able to come out ahead, even if you're losing.
Right.
But let's get to the next tweet here. Some men endure insufferable hardship and emerge galvanized against harm. Others endure hardship and collapse absolutely. The tendency to surrender is a genetic disposition amongst the weakest of a species. Don't pity those who gave up and refused to fight. They were born to lose.
Mm-hmm.
This one's a little more on that Andrew Tate sentiment of just really harsh, really in your face, and really just saying some people were born to be freaking losers.
Right.
I like to think that everyone, this is maybe a Christian aspect of like everyone's redeemable, everyone has the chance to be better than they were the day before, kind of having optimism and hope for everyone. This here is kind of throwing that out the window and saying you were born a bitch.
Yeah.
And then, what are your thoughts on that, bro?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's like some people are just born bitches, you know what I mean? To put it bluntly, I think everybody has an opportunity in life and a chance to shape their own destiny. So if you don't take that opportunity and you don't take those chances, then you made yourself the loser.
Oh, I like that. I'm gonna steal that from you.
Yeah.
If you don't take the opportunity, you made yourself the loser.
Yeah. Got a copyright now.
But so you think that no one's born inherently to be a loser?
No, I think everyone has an opportunity to do something great, but it's what you do with your life and how you surround yourself with certain people and what you do with your circumstances that's going to make you who you are. And success is different for everybody too. It's not necessarily, how it is for me where, I think money is success, right? Or whatever you think might be success, you know what I mean? Everybody has a different idea of that, but I feel like different dreams,
I totally agree with you, bro. And the thing that gets me on this one too, it's like this is kind of something that relates to me a little bit, bro. You're still taller than me, but you're a short king too, in a way.
Yeah.
But like being born, 5'2", it's no secret. I'm a short guy.
Sure.
But that played a lot into my confidence growing up, and then how girls perceived me too, know, and then like. Just thinking that, there's no way that I could do this or that. And then it's like, no, look at Peter Dinklage. I mean, he's a famous actor from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So not every little person is going to be Peter Dinklage. But that doesn't mean but every little person has the ability to be that famous, has the ability to work hard enough to make something of themselves. Myself, I'm not even technically a dwarf or anything, but it's like, I can still push myself and be better and don't have to accept what life or how I perceive life is throwing at me. And this is I'm gonna come out here with a strong one here.
Okay.
That's why I absolutely cannot stand the idea of trans children or the whole trans movement, because it's people that can't accept who they are.
Right.
And it's that born to lose aspect of like you were born how you were born. And I respect people that, are gay or something like that, but don't do body mutilation. Don't take hormones and medication. They're just pushing that shit to make a buck. And you were the sucker at the end of the day.
Right. You ready for story time?
I am ready for story time.
All right, get ready, guys. So it was, I was probably still in high school, probably junior, senior year, maybe closer to like senior year after high school, right? And I would always go over to my cousin's house. We were always hanging out and doing stuff, right? He went to a party and met this trans guy, right? And I'll be honest, dude didn't even look trans. I just thought it was a regular dude at first.
Oh, so this was a woman originally, female originally,
and then transitioned
to it. So it's transgender man.
Yes. And so we were all hanging out and everything, and like honestly, had no idea. I was like, okay, like there were like a couple signs where it was like that was kind of like, I don't know, just a womanly thing to do, I guess. But I don't know. It was problem after problem with that guy. Man, I remember. All right. Okay, I remember taking him to a park because he was like, oh, I'm gonna go like meet up with someone, right? And I'm in my past, we go get weed and stuff, you know what I mean? So he's like, oh, I'm gonna go meet up with this guy, get something real quick. I was like, all right, cool, not a problem. Drive to the park. About probably 5 to 10 minutes later, I see this like, I don't know, pretty big black dude walking away from the area, looking happy as hell, right? Super happy dude. I was like, what could you be so happy about at like 10 o'clock at night, right?
Oh, fuck.
Here comes this dude coming back into my car, and he's like, we gotta go. And I was like, oh, you good? And he's like, oh, no, we gotta go. Like, He's hurting, right?
So what?
But here's the thing, right? You would think as a trans man, at least in my mind, you think as a trans man, you get it in the bum, right?
In the...
Yeah, in the womanly spot, right? And
Wow.
like TMI, all right? Viewer discretion is advised. This dude told me he bled for a week after that. Yeah. And dude, he shared a room with my cousin at one point. Like,
This is crazy.
they had like more
Did
like
your
a
cousin
loft.
ever smash?
No. My cousin, I don't think he's too big of a fan now. Dude had problems, man. I remember him coming over in the middle of the night crying, asking for like us to like help him because his mom called him the wrong name or some shit.
Oh, he got dead named.
Yeah, he got dead named. So it was like, yeah, and all that. And I remember one time he had us like, he was like, write all your feelings on a plate and then we're gonna go smash them. And I was like, what kind of pussy shit is this?
So did he ever have girl relationships?
Yeah, they were always weird.
That's so crazy because when you said like...
And then he was like overly obsessed with this kid that wasn't his. And then like his like the girl like went back with the baby daddy, like trying to rectify the relate. I don't know. There's a whole fucked up relationship going on there, but it was crazy. I remember this dude bitching out because he was all like, "Oh man, I love this kid," and I was like, "You guys aren't even dating like a year, man. Like this kid's like 4 or 5. That's like his child."
That is a wild story. I don't have anything to like...
To top that one.
To top that.
Yeah. It was just crazy time.
I guess in that case, to bottom.
That was the same dude who put his fucking nasty ass feet on my dash when I was driving and I got all mad at him. Yeah. Disgusting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't put your feet on people's dash. It's gross.
That is gross. Don't do that. That was a good story. I like the story.
Right?
Okay, so yeah, that's one against the trans right there. On that. Hopefully that person's doing well, though. We don't have any hate against anybody.
No.
I was just explaining, like, hey, let's not accept, you know, like, these lies that we tell ourselves.
I just saw it, like, firsthand with how many, like, mental, like, problems that kind of brings on, too. Because you gotta think, you're pumping your body full of, like, well, in this instance, testosterone, when you really shouldn't have that much.
To me, it's just, like, it pisses me off because I imagine the doctors being like, if you don't get this surgery, you'll never be happy. And that's that born to lose mentality where it's like, if you didn't have that mentality, you would know, hey, I don't need a surgery to be happy. I don't need to be validated by other people. It's the need for validation from others.
Right.
That's pathetic to me. It's like, you should just be happy with yourself. The only validation you need is the validation from the person in the fucking mirror.
Exactly.
I hate people that are
like,
oh,
totally
I need this person's approval or this person's approval to be happy. You're gonna be sad your whole entire life if if your happiness is based on other people's validation.
Right.
You're fucked.
Yeah, definitely.
That's how I'm gonna put that. So let's go to the next tweet.
Yeah.
You can't advocate traditional gender roles if you're weak. The traditional male role was a warrior, always has been, and if we're man enough to be a warrior today, you'd have a woman who acts like a woman. The roles haven't gone anywhere. You're just not fulfilling yours. Pretty accusatory rhetoric. I'm not gonna assume. I assume all the viewers watching, all my young kings and queens. Hopefully, let's get that female engagement going.
Get it up.
But you know, what do you think about that, bro? Do you think that the men are failing at their roles of traditional warrior?
I feel like it's kind of a mix of both, you know? We have these beta bitches for men, and then we have, like, you know, the women that are, you know, I don't want to say feminist, but, you know, the ones that are more, I don't know, self-empowering. Not that it's a negative thing. You should definitely, whether you're a man or a woman, should, you know, be able to do what you want and live the life that you want to do. And I feel like everyone has, like, a partner, you know, kind of for them. But what aligns for, you know, you and your relationship might not align for someone in their relationship.
I have another question. And this one, I'm throwing this at the viewers too here. But because of the change in roles, right? Do you think that more betas got laid back in the day because of traditional roles than today? Because just like the last pod that not the last one, but we had a WTX where it was about women who were abstaining from sex, right?
Yeah.
And the main girl that we were talking about said that she, like, men couldn't match her ambition.
Right.
So it's like, are we giving the people from, like, the 50, like, the baby boomers, the Gen X, are we giving them too much props?
100%.
Too much reward here? Because it's like, hey, there's probably more betas in that generation who were able to get chicks just because these girls hadn't had the confidence yet to, like, pursue their ambitions.
Right. As as someone who lives pretty much in a retirement community in a sense, yeah, 100%. We're giving them way too much fucking credit. There are definitely some beta boys from boomer times. 100%.
Beta boomers?
Beta boomers, yeah.
So who do you think's more beta then? Is the Gen Z more beta, or are the boomers more beta?
Definitely Gen Z, because back then when you were a boomer, I feel like there was your father figure was I don't know, a little more.
Your father figure was an actual, most likely a man.
Right. Yeah.
Like biologically. Nowadays, it's like you gotta ask.
Yeah, who knows?
Don't dead name your dad.
Right. But yeah, I think a lot of things like, being gay and everything like that was more sheltered on, obviously.
Right.
And I think, you had, also tough men who went through war, most likely as their fathers, right? That's right after World War II and everything, World War I and World War II. So I feel like a lot of those, war veterans and people who have experienced war were those fathers. So that's why we have it now. I think there's definitely a difference in the perception of America and how we've kind of grown too,
True.
People who see war are going to have different values than people who don't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like there is a lot of conservatives who haven't seen war, and then there's soldiers, there's people too that I know that are on the left, like huge, and I think they've seen action too.
Right.
So it's very interesting.
I think everybody's different now too, but I think also too we have the widespread of media. So there's a lot more going out there. That's why I'm not really more leaning towards left or right. I'm kind of in between. There's so much information out there. I like to gather it all before I make a decision.
That's a good way to do it.
So I mean, I think now we have such a widespread of information and everything like that. Everything's kind of more blown up in a perspective compared to, say the 50s and 60s when things were more sheltered. There wasn't, a computer in your pocket to show you every little beta boy on TikTok.
Yeah. Man, I don't want it to come off like this has been a hateful pod or anything.
Yeah.
Because, I feel like, again, I say it every time, everybody love everybody. But if we don't, I feel like, shame a lot of the problematic upbringings and like the rhetoric going on that's like emasculating men.
Right.
Then we're going to be in a world of trouble.
Right. And I mean, didn't we just talk about it not too long ago, like the population decline? Like on top of that?
We did.
So, I mean...
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
Agendas. Why is this being pushed so much?
Yeah, it has been pushed quite a bit, And I think it's... Who knows? The higher ups, man.
We just got to make sure, hey, young kings, stay keening it up. And young queens, too. We got to get a young queens episode in here.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's been
Tough
a lot
women.
A lot of manly man shit going on.
Well, I feel
here.
like also too with the whole like back to like the transgender thing, I feel like that also kind of takes away from like women empowerment as well. Like I feel like you see people just kind of transitioning over and all this, and it's like, what about the women that are actually women?
Oh yeah, dude.
What about those self-reliant women?
I'm telling you right now, bro. Everyone watching this, I'm telling you all this right now. The first woman president is going to be a biological male.
You calling it now?
I'm calling that right now.
Can you give us a year?
And they're going to, and the party that's going to bring that up, I don't know which party will exist by this point.
Right.
Because it might change completely with all the mess ups going on right now. But it's going to be like, oh, it's so progressive, first woman ever. And if you talk any shit about biological males at this point, you will be looked at as a bigot. I give it 10, 15 years at the most, bro.
Yeah.
I think this is going to happen sooner than later. You will see.
So like 2030 to 2040 range?
100.
I could. Yeah.
And then the people that see that are going to be even more inclined to this. It's just, have you seen the movie Gattaca?
I don't think so.
Dude, great movie. Everyone should watch Gattaca. It's awesome, bro. It's with Ethan Hawke and oh my god, from Kill Bill. What's her name? Super pretty.
Oh god.
Uma Thurman.
Yeah.
So that's how they met, actually, dude, and how that all worked out. Nice. But he is essentially like he was born to lose, right? But he gets like his knees extended and everything, and he takes the blood from Jude Law's in the movie, but he's like handicapped now. He was born to be like a fantastic swimmer because it's all about genetic modification. Like the Gattaca name is from like the DNA and how like splicing it or whatever.
Yeah.
But that whole entire movie's about like genetically being made at birth for like your parents' desires or whatnot.
Really?
And with like the whole transgender push and shit, it just scares me to think like, dude, if they actually can come up with the science to like change your genetics from like when you're a fetus or whatever,
right?
You won't even be trans at that point. Like you could really make a boy or a girl.
Be like synths from Fallout.
And do you think that's right though?
No, I think
like if there's no health factors or risk associated with doing a procedure like that, do you think a parent should be allowed to decide the sex of their child?
No, because what happens when that child grows up and they're like, no, I don't want to do that anymore. But then it's like it comes down to a whole different thing than just what we have today, where it's like you're born this way and you kind of need to accept that. It wasn't there was no option. It was chosen for you. You know what I mean? Like if this was nowadays and my parents had chosen me to be like a girl, right? The fuck?
Dude, that's actually a great point. So like, it'd be even more of an argument that people should be allowed to be trans if your parents were choosing your sex at birth.
But that's not a thing that's happening right now. You're talking sci-fi universe movie,
bro. Dude, in China they were able to get this one guy was able to get 2 embryos that like had diabetes. He like cured diabetes in these kids, bro. Like through their genetic alterations. It was highly unethical, and I think that there was some. But it's like, dude, if you can do that's a slippery slope, bro. Sooner or later, you're gonna be making boys girls and girls boys.
Well, yeah, I feel like that's kind of gonna if it say it goes that route, right? I think you wouldn't see so much of like gender roles anymore because it would be more fluid because nobody would have that decision. So it's like you'd have people that'd be like, oh, my parents chose me to be a boy. I don't want to be a boy, right? Or, but then at that point, it'd be so easy to switch. People are indecisive.
Well, no, it wouldn't be easy to switch.
No?
Because once you're formed, I don't know how much you could modify after that.
I mean, we're talking about an alternate universe. Where
alternate.
You
my boy don't think that this is going to happen.
It's not happening right now. But you don't think that if they have the technology to construct a human from a fetus or an embryo, they won't have the technology to just switch genders like a finger snap? You'd go in for a procedure and you'd get lasered out, and they'd be like, all right, no intimate activity.
I'll get back
for
to you on
2
that
months.
one.
Yeah? You need to ask Chatty first?
I might have to ask Chatty about that.
He's going to have to ask Chatty.
But, did you have any other closing remarks? Because we did get through all the Young Kings quotes and then the Andrew Tate quote, so we're pretty much all caught up on masculinity and not being a beta.
I think I feel like it was a very intense one, and like you were saying, I don't want this to come across as like any hate or anything like that. But my thing is, if you got mental issues, of course, take care of your mental problems. That's definitely, something that needs to be taken care of. Not saying, you and I are perfect. And I think that and just buckle down. Like, really, like what I said last time, like, really just buckle down. Find what you want to do. Find something you're passionate about and pursue it. And don't give up. Have that resilience to keep going.
Dust yourself off. I like it, man. It's all about, like you said, resilience, staying consistent. Don't let that noise get to you.
Right. Just
because you have anxiety doesn't mean you let it crash you down. Don't crash out because of your anxiety.
Yeah.
Use your anxiety as a weapon, as a tool, and be like, hey, I got to get this done now. I got to get this done. You'd be surprised how much you can achieve, guys.
Right, yeah. Put yourself in a stressful situation.
Yeah, 100%.
So, only grow.
I think this has been a good pod. Yeah. This has been episode 46 of What the X. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Let us know if you have any disagreements on anything we said. Engagement's always nice. So thank you again. Please like and subscribe. Really would appreciate it. Help grow this channel. But I love you so much, guys. Everybody love everybody. Another episode of What the X.
What the X?